of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. Well, we're going to go to school today and get into the classroom. I posted a chart here of Apple computer. Well, it's more than a computer company, for heaven's sakes. But anyway, you can see here the chart is certainly showing the big up move, and then the market is broken to the downside. But if you'll notice right in the middle there, you see the downtrending line here. This is a 135 pattern. Well, this comes from one of our students over in Hong Kong, and he bought it here. And it rallied all the way up to this level here, but he didn't get out. But the bad part is that he didn't even have a stop in. And so you can see where the arrow is here. Once we go below that 78% level for the third time, that's where he should have gotten out. And so he came into this weekend long the Apple, and he stuck about $10, $12 in it. And he asked him where to put the stop, and I said, well, you have one choice, either get out at the market or put a stop in somewhere. And I said, I suggest you get out at the market. And fortunately, it opened a little bit higher today and then, of course, broke quite a bit. But this brings you to the point here of these patterns, folks, why they're important, okay? First of all, they do two things. One, they give you a probability of something that may happen. And believe me, that's a probability, and may is part of that probability. It may happen. The second thing that it does, it helps you define what the risk is, because when the pattern fails, it's telling you it's going to a larger pattern. And that's the key. You've got to be able to understand that. In the book by Roy Longstreet, he always talks about the first mistake teaches, the second mistake kills. The first mistake here, it was a good place to buy it. We teach that, but we don't teach staying in it when it breaks. And that's the one that kills you, because if you just think of this as a large ABCD here in copper, we're looking at around 119. It's trading at 130 and change right now. So that's just the ABCD on that. So, it's really difficult to do that. And I said the one thing that it will do for you today is if you put a stop in or just get out, A, it'll take off the pressure, one, and B, it will clear your mind so you can move on to the next trade. Believe me, that's what you do. When you make a mistake in these markets and you just hang on and using hope and pray, and believe me, I did that in the early days, and believe me, even to this day, sometimes I might do it for a very short period of time, because I believe the faster you get out of the trade to look at something new, the better off you are. Because when you go into this trade right here, you know you're wrong already because you've broken all the patterns, and somebody has to get you out. Unless someone else has a control on that account, that person is you. You have to take responsibility. Look, this guy has made a lot of money in Apple this year, but he gave a tiny bit of it back in this, and he's beating himself up. So I told him, get out of the darn thing, take a few days off. We've got Hanukkah starts today, and then we got the Chinese New Year in early February, and we got our New Year's coming up here very shortly in about a week or so. So I said, just take a break. I said, you can relax, and you've earned it. But he made a mistake, and you just got to correct the mistake. That's one thing when you do a service like we have at 24/7. I don't have the luxury of sitting there, if you want to call it a luxury, it could be more like a curse, of sitting there hoping that something's going to turn, that we happen to be in it. I can't do that, because my responsibility is to the people that are paying TFNN for this service, and it's also to myself to teach them that, look, when you're wrong, get the hell out. That's the easiest thing to do. And I know it's the hardest thing to do, but sometimes you just got to pull the trigger. Remember, the one thing you don't want to do is to add to a losing position. And I said, if you do that, just throw your money out in the street and let somebody else enjoy it, because you're never going to see that back again. The number of times that I've made money, it's less than one finger on each hand, and I only have one finger left. So that you just don't ever do that. That's the number one thing, because what it does, it tells you that you don't know what the hell you're doing, because you're increasing your margin exposure, and you've already been proven wrong on the trade because it's going in the opposite direction, either up or down. So you don't want to ever, ever, ever add to a losing position. This oil painting behind me, that's the number one thing up there. Never add to a losing position. That's what got me into trouble in 1974. I had a 7-figure account, and I watched it go to zero because I added to losing positions and was hoping that, it would rally on the next cycle. And I kept hoping and hoping. But, that hopes never gets you anywhere, folks. Believe me, that's a losing cause. So don't really do that anymore. Our guest today will be Norm Winsky of Astro Trends, and I believe we have Rich Anderson is going to be on tomorrow. We've got some things to talk about with the coming months here with these grains that we're going to be looking at. And I believe we might have Shane Smolian on Wednesday. I am not going to be here on Thursday and Friday. I have a commitment that I have to take care of, and I don't like to be here those 2 days because it's the holiday season, and frankly, we like to try to do things for other folks. And maybe I will, maybe I won't, but 90% of the time, I'm not going to be here Thursday and Friday, but let's wait till Wednesday and see what happens, because that could change dramatically. I will be here the following week into the new year, because the new year is not the same as the holiday season for Christmas. And we got to be ready for that, because many times these currencies move really rapidly right after the first of the year. And I want to be able to cover that. Now, the next thing that we want to cover here comes from one of our friends out there in near Philadelphia. And it's our good friend, Jeff. We want to get this up here so that you want to see this. We got the break coming up, so I'm probably not going to say much about it other than I want to go over pattern failures in this. And then on top of that, there's something in this chart that is extremely, extremely important. Nobody ever listens to me when I try to tell them this, but this next chart, when we take a look at this, this is what you want to be paying attention to, folks. Remember, back in the early 80s, we didn't get these kind of charts until late 1983. 1983, we first got these desktop computers where we could see these things through our friends down CompuTrack down in New Orleans, and then Joe DiNapoli helped to promote, I forget what the name of his company was, where they had these charting packages, and then one after another, then became Trade. What was it? Trade. Oh dear, I can't remember what the other ones were, but there were a whole bunch of them. But the key to this is the color of that background. And when we get back, I want to explain to you the story behind this colored background and it being black, and why that's not a good thing. And I really believe that. I've never had a black background on my charts for two reasons. One, if you try to print it out, you're going to lose all your ink. But the main thing is you'll get this when we come back from our break, because I think it's that important. And I'll tell you the story behind it, because it's a big deal, and I think it's something that we need to talk about. So we'll be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstat's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstat breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, if you'll bear with me here 1 second, I want to put this chart up, this chart we get from our friend Jeff out there in Philadelphia. The main reason I want to talk to you about the background on this, folks, goes back to my early days at Commodity Corporation back in 84. And when I first went there, we were just getting these charts on our desktops, and they had everything there that you could possibly ask for. They had the best of everything. CQG was just doing trials at that time, and no, they were already doing it, but they had new charts. And Commodity Corporation had hired I don't know what he was. I think he was a psychologist or whatever it was, but he really was really against using the black background. And so Commodity Corporation, they came out, you can pick any color that you want, but not black. That's how strongly it was, folks. They gave you all kinds of leeway, whatever you wanted to do. But when they came out and told you you're not going to do that, then by golly, you're not going to do that. The other thing that was on their list was you don't add to a losing position. And they said, if you do that, you're done. Just move on. What I want to watch about this chart is the fact that there's only a couple of really clear patterns here. And you can see at the top up here, when the market was making a top, you see a beautiful 3 drive to a top pattern. And just perfect. You can see A, B, C, D. It's just lined up just as clear as a bell at the top. I draw that line in. You can hardly see it because it's in gray. That's another reason, But anyway, I highly recommend picking a color other than black. Pick a light color, mauve or something else. White I prefer with the other stuff, but that's just me. So that's it. But the question that Jeff had is, what happens when a pattern fails? Do you go to the next pattern? Yes, that's exactly what I will do. I will move to the next pattern. On this pattern, I could not spot a butterfly. I really couldn't. And so there might be one, but if it is, it's very, very asymmetrical. So I pass on the next one. The 2 patterns that are really good here, you can see the ABCD in white, and you can also see the 3 drive to a top pattern. And there's another small ABCD before the big breakdown. But that's all I see on the chart. And there's nothing wrong with that because there's patterns all over this place on all these charts, and you have to pick out the one that you want to pick out. Now I want to talk to you about something extremely important, and that is there's a man out there named Howard Marks. And Howard Marks is a very famous guy. He runs the Oak Tree Capital Hedge Fund. He's been around 30 years for that fund, but I want to talk to you about it because he said he sees a sea change of things that are happening. He said there's only been a couple of times in the past where we've had a sea change. One of them was in 1974, when Mike Milken started at Drexel in 1972. I started there in 1976, and Mike he was already the king of junk bonds. Well, what he had done in the early 70s, because interest rates were skyrocketing, it was hard for companies to get capital. So what they had to do is they had to go into the high yield market or the junk bond market. And so they made it, a high yield market instead of the junk bond market. But he was able to make a tremendous living just by doing that. And that made people able to get capital that were not able to get capital. And that's what his whole theory was, and it turned out to be really great. But he was the whole market at that particular time. Now, what happened was the way Drexel made a lot of money, if you ever want to read about it, read the book The Den of Thieves by James Stewart. He'll tell you exactly what happened. And it'll show the picture of the building that I worked in there at Rodeo and Wilshire. Anyway, that was the main thing. But what he said was, and this is what's important, is this next chart I want to bring up, because he brings the second situation that happened like this was in 2009, and now what he says is we're facing the third situation right now, and I firmly believe he's right, and I'll show you some of the things that he's looking at here. But if you look at this, you'll see in 2009 compared to 2021 and where we are today. Well, I'm going to go through these because they're important. The Fed behavior was highly stimulative, now it's tightening. Inflation was dormant, now it's at a 40-year high. The economic outlook was positive. The economic outlook today, recession likely. Likelihood of distress, minimal. Likelihood of distress, rising. Mood, optimistic. Today, it's guarded or pessimistic if you watch the news at all. Buyers, they're eager, right? Now they're hesitant. Holders, complacent, uncertain. Key worry is fear of missing out, and today it's the investment losses. And you look at some of these things that have been going on over there with cryptos and some of the others, and well, you can see some of these we've shown you what they look like. But risk aversion was absent during that time, 2009 and 21, because there was no risk. Now the risk is rising. The credit window was wide open. Now it's constricted. Financing was plentiful. Now it's scarce. Interest rates were the lowest ever. Now they're back to normal. The yield spreads were modest, and now they're normal or inverted. And prospective returns were the lowest ever, and now they're more than ample. So this is why he is worried, because he sees a chance that the credit markets could implode, and that would be really, really negative. Now, if you want to get that full article, go just look at Howard Marks, Oak Tree Capital, and go the whole thing. Rich Anderson sent me these segments because he knows I don't read articles like that, but he paraphrased it for me that when somebody smart like Howard Marks gets up there and gives you a warning, and I know there's other guys out there, that say that and stuff. All I do is I look at that. It doesn't mean anything at all to me as long as the charts are verifying what he's saying. Then I say, yep, he might be right, because that's all I look at. That's the main thing that I think is very, very important. So let's pay attention to that. Now, we've got a couple of minutes here for the next break. I wanted to give you the skinny on what I think is happening in the market today. We've been bearish, the stock indices for quite a few days now. But as you'll notice here, as we come into today, this was the artificial intelligence program that I work on. You see, we had the breakdown. We should start to rally about now, and we should rally into the close. Now, just remember this, folks. If this market is not rallying by the time this show is over, with 2 hours to go, if we're not moving above the 382 line here, there's something very, very wrong, and that's where you've got to be. That's where you've got to be careful. But pay attention to it. It may not work. What I'm going to be doing is hopefully I've been talking to TFNN about bringing out a service called the Trade of the Day, because I know people like to look at certain trades, and all we're going to be doing is looking at the patterns. This was one that we were watching for today, and this was the British pound. You can see we made the ABCD up here. Then we came down, and there was the 382 retracement. We were talking about that was the trade of the day long before it happened, but it hit the 382 and then went all the way down and made the ABCD pattern. But these trades will be lined up mainly to make just a few $100, $200 to $500. We'll use a trailing stop if possible, but when they work very well, and when they don't work very well. And we'll be talking to Mr. Norwinski at Astro Trends in a few moments. We'll be right back.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, I believe we have Norm Winsky on the line today. Norm, are you there?
Yes, sir, Larry. Thanks for having me on.
Happy holidays and a happy Hanukkah to you, my friend.
Thank you. Happy Hanukkah to you.
Thank you. I back in the days at Drexel, we had 22 Jewish brokers in the office and only 3 Goyas. Those are non-Jews. And they spent more time on Christmas than they did on Hanukkah. That's how it was. Anyway, go ahead. Tell us what you're looking at, Norman. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you. Happy holidays to everybody there. So anyway, yes. I was on your show on the 6th of December. And we had a couple of points coming up. I had a small number of things coming up immediately at that time. We're going to review those. But by the way, looking at my notes here, AC means after the close. It means the plants are doing something overnight. The plants don't clock out at 5 o'clock like humans do, They're 24/7, so we have things happening overnight that could influence how the market closed that day and how the market may open the next day. So our first point we had on the 5th, over the night of the 5th into the 6th, we had Helio. That's from the point of view of the sun, heliocentric, Jupiter lining up with Saturn. And so we'll be looking at coffee and copper. And if you want any more explanation of this stuff, give me a call. All right, then the night of the 7th into the 8th, we had a full moon. That was a very interesting full moon. I talked about it at length when I was on there on the 6th. It was lining up with Mars and the Earth and the Sun were all lining up there, and the moon was going to block your view of Mars for a few minutes. Occultation, that doesn't happen very often. Anyway, so we had the full moon. Anytime we have a full moon, we round up the financials, grains, and precious metals. Take a look at those. And here's the results. So we had 2 points. The main one was the full moon, but we did have something for the into the 6th for the coffee and the copper. So here's the corn on the moon, and you can see we're just off that low there. And I look to be right within one trading day. And so if you bought there, obviously you're going down, down, down. We're looking for a low. And you had a chance to buy near the low there, and it went up, up, up. Uh-oh, something happened there. Wait, let me just fix that. There we go. All right, then we had the beans going up, up, up into the moon. That was kind of strange that the corn was on a low, but the beans were on a high, and you were just a day ahead of that high there. And then it went down, and you had a chance to make some money. Here's the wheat that rallied into the moon, and you had a little short-term top there on the wheat and a pullback, so you had a chance to make some money. Here's the coffee, kind of a small, looks like a small rally on this chart, but as you know, Larry, coffee is a beast. Every penny is $375. Yeah. I think there's about a 10-cent rally here from these lows up to that high bar there, which would be, that's about $3,750. So it doesn't look like it's squished on the chart because of this huge bar there. But that's the deal. So if you sold there and it went down, 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 I think it dropped quite a bit. And I think I'm sorry, I take it back. This is about $1,000 move here. This is about $3,700 there. Okay, anyway, so you had a chance to make some money on the coffee. There's the gold rallied into the moon, and you did have to take a little heat there. Then it went down, and you had a chance to make some money. And that's my measurement. You had a chance to make some money or not. Silver just kept going up, so you didn't have a chance to make money. And so that's a miss with a red arrow. Green, copper dropped into our window there for the moon after the close into the Jupiter Saturn window there into the morning of the 6th. And you went up, 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 and copper, it's a beast. This moved about 10 cents, I believe, and that's about $2,500. Here's the S&P. That was a miss there. It kept going down to the low bar. Oh, I know why I marked that wrong as a miss. Is because of the huge volatility. That's about 80 handle drop there. You don't want I don't think you want an 80 handle drawdown. So that's a miss there. Had a low bar there, but it was the bar just too big, too much risk. And then we just kind of going sideways here, so we took a pass. Here, bonds were much friendlier, up, 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 right? You had a chance to sell there on the moon, right off of that just a little bit off of that top there, and it went down, and you had a chance to make some nice money there. I think it was about two and a half handles. It's about $2,000. Here's the U.S. Dollar index. Had a little pop up here. It sold against that high, and it made a small amount of money there. Here's the Aussie dollar. There's your low bar there. All right, just ahead of the moon. And the next morning, if you bought, you did well because it went up, up, up. And here's the British pound. If you sold there on the moon, it just kept going. So no crumpets and tea for you. That's a miss. And here's the Canadian dollar, down, down, down into the low there. And then it popped up, so you had a chance to make some money. And there's the euro there. You had a low there, and you had a chance to buy. It's that low, and it went up a little bit. Chance to make a little bit of money. Yen was just kind of going sideways. So we took a pass. So you add up the green arrows and the red arrows. You had 11 winners, 3 misses out of 14 for 78.57%. Okay, we got a whole bunch of stuff coming up here toward the latter part of December, starting today. So we have tonight, we have geocentric from the point of view of the Earth. Jupiter entering Aries is changing signs. On average, it does this about once every about 11 months. It takes about 11 and a half years to go through all the signs, and there you go. So the markets that may be affected, including stocks, are always affected by all these, potentially by all these. But the commodities are coffee, corn, gold, silver, sugar, wheat. Then we have a Mercury event. Anytime we have Mercury, that's the grains. And that'll be the morning of the 21st, 2 days from now. And you want to take a look at your corn, soybeans, and wheat then. And then with the next night, not that night, but the following night, the night of the 22nd, it'll be a new moon in Capricorn. So that'll be your financials, grains, precious metals, coffee. Then you have Venus, aphelion. That means that Venus, as it goes around the sun, will be at its farthest point from the sun in its 225-day trip around the sun. And here's your Venus markets: cattle, copper, corn, sugar, wheat. I should also add there also gold, because it has to do with the sun. And and corn. I'm going to add those. I'll get those later. Well, I'll put those in there so I'm on official record here now. The cattle, corn, put corn right there. C-O-R-N. And gold over here. There we go. Now we got it fixed. All right, then we got the night of the 27th. That'll be the last week, I believe the last week of the month. We have Pluto lining up with on the natal chart there of the USA, July the 4th, 1776. Pluto lined up with the U.S. Sun. Anytime we have anything to the U.S. natal chart, U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. And then the night of the 28th, again, we have another Mercury point for your corn, soybeans, wheat, and also keep in mind all these points could affect the stock market. And here's a real doozy there, Larry. We got two big Mercury cycles. Oh, we're gonna have to wait for that.
We're gonna cover these Mercury cycles when we come up, Norm. Okay, these are the really important ones, in my opinion. Norm Winsky, Astro Trend. So tweet right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, we're back, folks, talking with Norm Winsky, and he's talking to us about cycles of Mercury. So could you let us know? I've got a couple questions here when we're done, so don't hurry up. We got plenty of time, but tell us what you're looking at these next few days. These are really key.
Okay, Larry, on the night of the 28th, we got a double whammy for Mercury cycles. We have Mercury at 0 north latitude. That's a big deal. And then we also have Mercury in Capricorn turning retrograde. I think that's a very rare combination. And those two things happen right together. And so you want to be watching your grains, of course. And with this, in Capricorn, you also want to watch coffee too. And of course, the stock market. I think that could be a very big window here. And here's a kicker with the Pluto returning to where it was on July. It's almost funny. July the 4th, 1776. That's a 248-year cycle to the U.S. natal chart. That could be really big for the stock market, T-bonds, and dollar too. So there we go. We got a big cluster there right at the end of the year. That'll be to the night of the 28th. Is that yeah, that's a weekday. Okay, we're not into the weekend there, and so forth. So that's that. We got a huge cluster coming up. So we'll have to. You might want to take a screenshot of these things or play them back on YouTube or whatever later, and jot them down and pay attention. All right, I've been doing this a long time. I started out right out of college. Well, actually, I was investing in college there at Indiana State University, a fellow alum with Larry there in Terre Haute, Indiana. Got done there, moved to Chicago, bought a membership on the Chicago Board Options Exchange when the place was only 2 years old, helped pioneer option trading. Later on, I got a seat on the Board of Trade, traded there, and so forth. And so I've been doing this a long time. I started investing, trading, using astrology back in my college days there in the early 70s, did well enough to add to my pot and be able to afford to buy a membership and have some trading capital left over and lived in Chicago for about 18 years. Here we go. So I'm looking forward to helping some folks, Larry. We got call me up. I'll go over some of these technical terms and so forth and answer your questions. Right now, I'm having a little trouble with my regular email, the Embark mail. So I don't know. Might want to try. I can receive mail by way of web mail, but I usually use a program, Outlook. It's not working very well. So you can try me there or try me at Yahoo, nwinsky@yahoo.com, or the best way to get a hold of me, if you can call me on Skype or on my telephone, that'd be even better. All right, looking forward to helping some of the folks, and you got questions, right?
You've got a question. The first question comes from Nogales, Arizona, which is about 60 miles. It's right on the Mexican border.
I've been there.
Yeah, it's a really neat place. Anyway, the question is the Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is a lunar cycle? Is that correct? That's his question.
Yeah, all the Jewish holidays are on the Hebrew calendar. That's a lunar calendar.
Okay. Does that include Hanukkah that we're into right now?
All the holidays are on the Hebrew lunar calendar.
Okay, all right, that's good.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what I wanted to know. Okay, second question comes from Wyoming, Laramie, and the question is, if you had to pick two things, God says, Norm, you can only trade on these two things, what would those two things be if you were looking at astrology?
You only trade two things?
No, you can trade anything, but what if you had to pick two things out of the war chest that you have, what would be the two things that you could pick to trade anything, whether it's wheat or the S&P or coffee or anything? If you had to pick two things. I don't even know if you can answer.
I'll play along. I'll play the game, but I just want you to know this is contrary to my rules. I don't pick this stuff. I have a system where the planets tell you where to look, okay? So now I'll play along. I'll say, okay, my first love in life was the stock market, probably, and so maybe I pick the stock market. Maybe I'll pick a grain, or maybe I'll say corn or something. I don't know. It's a meaningless answer because I don't really buy into that premise, But I'll play along to be a good sport.
Okay, that's part of the
let
question.
me just invoke one of you and I laugh about this, but it's true. That my system is based on that the less you think, the better you will do. So the fact that he's asking me to make a choice, that's contrary to what I'm trying to do.
Okay, all right, that's close enough. That's a good answer that I'm looking at.
I think you agree with that, right? That the less you think, the better you do.
Oh my God! Simplicity beats complexity. I live by that one. That's the main thing.
Also, I think the human brain is wired to lose money, so the less you think, the better you'll do. And in regard to simplicity, Albert Einstein said that simplicity is genius. He was a pretty smart guy.
He was.
Let me get my contact information right here up on the screen so people can get a hold of me. There we go. Okay. And any other questions?
Why don't you read it? What you have as far as what you're looking to your contact information, because some people are in their cars and stuff, so you might want to just.
So I'm in Naples, Florida. You can get me on the internet. If you Google my name, Norm Winski, W-I-N-S-K-I, I think you'll get a whole page of me. And I didn't pay a dime for that. I've been doing this a long time, so I just ended up there.
Okay.
239-594-3939. If you punch my name into YouTube, you get a whole page of videos. 239-5943 is my U.S. Number. Or you can call me on Skype at NWINSKI_1. You can email me. Hopefully this will get fixed in a day or two. And Winski at EMBARQMAIL.com. Or just to make sure, you can try me at Winski at yahoo.com.
Okay, that sounds pretty good.
Looking forward to helping some of the folks there, Larry.
Okay, Norm, I want to wish you happy holidays also, and we'll have you on again right after the first of the year. If something special comes up, you let me know and we'll get you on, because your timing has been pretty good, my friend. I have to give you a heads up and a 10-star.
Okay, thanks a lot, Larry. Happy holidays, everybody. Why not give me a call here ahead of the holiday so we can so this will all be fresh in your mind and I can answer your questions.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, thanks a lot, everybody. Happy New Year, happy holidays.
Okay.
Talk to you folks. Soon, hopefully, bye.
Okay, let's get up here and take a look here. We want to thank Norm for being on, but I want to bring this chart up here. This is what we were looking for to happen. If you remember, I said watch this time frame here, because if this thing doesn't start moving up right around that 12 o'clock time period, it doesn't. And look what happens. It started down. And what that means is it just means that there's been an inversion or a flip-flop of what the cycle is going to be, which means that the market is going to be going down, most probably with a high probability for the rest of the day. If you remember, anybody that gets the videos that we send out, we said we should reach at least 38.42 today, and I just saw 38.45 hit the back, so we're very close. Hey, we're going to take a break here, and we'll be right back. 877-927-66. What does this mean?
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, I posted the chart of the NASDAQ up here because I think this is the leader of the pack. It's lead going up and it's lead going down. As you can see, we just completed a 50% retracement and a 38% retracement of the previous highs from August and March. And I think this is really negative, folks. I put the red line in there where the 61% retracement is. We're getting ready to break through that today. We've already shattered the lows of Friday here in the S&P. So I think that we are looking at a market that wants to go down. Now, we're in the holiday spirit, so we're overdue for a rally. So what we want to do is, we're already short from a very high level. I would look to add any positions that make a 382 ABCD correction into that. And I'll be doing that on the videos that we're able to get out immediately. Now, I hit a button and you get them just as fast as I do. So there's no delay. You can see where it is. We know what our stops are. So we want to be adding to the position in the short S&P. The bonds are still going lower. We got another at least 1 or 2 or 3 points, I think, more to the downside. So I think I'd stand in there okay. And we'll be having our eye on the gold. and also on the foreign exchange. Gold specifically, folks, because there's going to be a downlay coming here about $30 lower, down around the 1756 level that we covered in the video. That will be very, very important one to look at. So if you're short, you stay there until you get to that level and reverse and go long. That's what I would be looking at. So the one thing we want to do is to live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless. And by the way, tomorrow our guest will be Rich Anderson, and then we will have Shane Smolian on Wednesday, I believe, God willing, and I think she is. So we'll be able to have that on. So just have a wonderful time during these holidays, folks, and please do things for your neighbors that need help, because this is what the season is about, and we should all try to do that. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.